Sandy says read. Welcome back to the channel. Today, you guys, we're going to do a review of You Can't Joke About That by Kat Timpf. A little bit of glare on the book. There you go. All right. Get the glare off of it. This is, my notes, 224 pages. Copyright is 2023. It was just released. And it was published by Broadside Books, which is an imprint of HarperCollins. We've got an index from pages 227 to 237 and a PSA on page 221. We'll talk about that in a second here. This book is mostly, it's about free speech, really. It really is. It's about free speech. We're talking about the idea that there are certain subjects in society today that society has decided you shouldn't joke about that. You shouldn't make light of a breakup. You shouldn't make light of cancer. You shouldn't make light of someone has died. You shouldn't joke about those things any longer. And if you do joke about them, or if you tweet about them, you'll get piled upon. You'll get canceled. People will call you out and call you names. And you know, it's become kind of sucky that happens, right? So Kat has written a book about it, and she's written a thought-provoking book about it. I mean, I don't want you to go into this book thinking that it's, a laugh a minute because it's from a comedian. It's more pontification than entertainment, really. And that's okay. That's good. Kat Timpf is a very smart lady. She's got a lot of good thought-provoking thoughts in her head, and she packs them into this book. And I found that very clever. Very well done. All right, so the PSA in the back. While most of the book, all of the book is talking about how we should be looking at free speech and how we should be cautious about this idea of canceling people for telling jokes that might be off color or off-putting. The PSA in the back is about when to shut up. And I found that interesting. But it's a PSA on, okay, let's say the police have stopped you in public. Or let's say the police have pulled you over for speeding. Or let's say the police have come to your door. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to shut your mouth in those instances. And she talks about it. And she talks about a very serious subject in a clever enough way that it's not humorous, but it's well done. And it's palatable, I guess is what I want to say. So I recommend reading the PSA. If you're reading the book, don't stop when you get to the end. Read the PSA too. It's nice. It's well done. All right, so let's dive into the book and talk about humor a little bit and self-deprecating humor as well. All right, let me just dive in and read you a little example. Because in these reviews, I do little examples. Okay, so she says on page 45, a study published in the Leadership and Organization Development Journal in 2014 found that a leader who used self-deprecating humor came off as more trustworthy and capable than those who told other kinds of jokes or who used no humor at all, even though there were no differences between the conditions and ratings for how funny the leader was. Okay, and then I wrote over here in the margin, I know I'm a nerd. Okay, I know that the lighting in this room is ridiculous and it makes a glare off my glasses. I know this, and I can joke about it. Self-deprecating humor helps get me through my day. And for leaders in leadership roles, self-deprecating humor helps them connect to their subordinates, helps them connect to their employees. And it's a good way to connect with people, as it happens to be. And humor in general is also healing. And Kat will point that out throughout this book as well. She does a very nice job of reminding us that we need humor. We need comedians. We need people who can make us laugh, people who can remind us to come back down to earth. We need people like that in our everyday lives as well as, up on stage talking to us, right? She does a really nice job in this book. I'm going to keep saying that to you. All right, so let's see what other notes did I have for you guys. She talks about digging up old past tweets and trying to silence people through things they've said in the past. So let's go to page 195 together. Hold on, it's going to take me a minute to get there, you guys. All right, page 195. She's talking about the things that are not jokes, but things that people may have said in the past, whether they were joking, whether they were just being stupid 15-year-olds, whatever, but things people have posted online in the past or said to friends in the past, coming back to haunt them when they're adults, in their futures. And she says, I could be wrong, but I have always thought that there has to be some kind of sick, twisted jealousy at play. Perhaps these are people who have, unfortunately, not been able to reach the level of success they've always hoped for in their own lives. Perhaps these are people who think to themselves, hey, I may not be a Heisman winner or an all-star pitcher, but I can take a Heisman winner or all-star pitcher down. If they can't get the power or prestige they seek through their own talents, they may decide to gain power by destroying someone who does have those talents. So she's talking about a person, sitting in mom's basement eating Cheetos on the couch, right? And that person can't get a job, can't do whatever, right? So that person looks up tweets from when some successful person was 11, 12, 15, and finds, oh, wow, they said something racist when they were 11, and posts that or retweets that. That resurfacing of the tweet is what she's talking about here. And that resurfacing of the tweet comes up, and then society as a whole has become so quick to jump on the bandwagon, is so quick to look for some kind of social clout and that dopamine hit of all the likes, right? That society jumps on it, and we tear this person down for something they said when they were 11, 12, 15, even 20. I mean, our brains don't fully develop until we're 25, 26, somewhere in there. So when we're 18, we're saying stupid crap. Stupid crap. Okay, when I was 18, I believed that Al Gore was going to solve global warming. Okay, I was an idiot. I can admit that now. Thank goodness I didn't have a Twitter account when I was 18, because I would have been tweeting that crap, and it would be used against me now in my career. Okay, so she points out that in society today, we're tearing one another down, and we really shouldn't be. We shouldn't be digging up things from the past to tear someone down, because when you were 11, yeah, you were saying stupid crap. Because when we're 11, we're all saying stupid crap. All of us. And it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. She says this, and I believe this, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, none of the above, living on a hillside somewhere in like Budapest. When you were 11, you said stupid crap. You probably don't believe the same stupid crap anymore. There is room in our lives for us to reform, for us to realize, oh, hey, wow, this thing I believed when I was 18, that was stupid. Or this little piece of it was stupid, and I can grow from that. I can reform, I can change, I can grow. We can all reform and change and grow. And we should give each other the opportunity to reform and change and grow. There you go. Paraphrasing stuff. All right, let's see. What else does she talk about? She talks about words as violence and how that is leading to the suppression of free speech. She talks about, she talks about attitude. Let's go to page 213 where she talks about attitude. In fact, as we finish up this review, let's look to attitude. Kat has been through a lot. let me just use that understatement. Kat has been through a lot in her 20s and in her career, and she has used humor to help her cope with things and help her get through it. And that's her attitude. Her attitude is, if I can joke about it, I'm probably going to make it through. I agree with that. I use humor to help me get through my day quite a bit. And she's got an example on here that I think this is nice for us to end with. In fact, Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist, philosopher, author, neurologist, and Holocaust survivor who founded logotherapy, which describes looking for meaning to be the most motivational force in human life, wrote about this exact thing in his book, aptly titled Man's Search for Meaning. And here's his quote. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. It is this spiritual freedom, which cannot be taken away, that makes life meaningful and purposeful. An active life serves the purpose of giving man the opportunity to realize values in creative work, while a passive life of enjoyment affords him the opportunity to obtain fulfillment in experiencing beauty, art, or nature. It goes on a little bit more, but it's about attitude. And Kat has used her humor in her creative life, and she's gone on to do very successful things in stand-up comedy. She's got a whole book now. I think it's on the bestseller list, right? And she's on the Gutfeld show. She's being a successful career woman with creativity and comedy and making people laugh and making herself laugh. I love it. I use creativity and humor not as well as she does, obviously, because no one's heard of me. No one, my books are not bestsellers. But using that creativity, it's an attitude. I can wake up in the morning and decide, everything's going to offend me today, and be sad and be morose and find no humor in things. Or, I can realize, okay, I just did this nerd thing and I'm silly, and I can be filled with humor about it. I can laugh at myself, I can laugh at circumstances, and I can get through the day. I can empathize with Kat about chapter 5. I've had cancer twice. I can mock myself. I can laugh about some of those cancer stories, some of the crazy stuff that happens. Yeah, I can laugh about it now and find humor in it. I can write poetry about it. I can incorporate crazy stuff in the books I write and make it creative and have the right attitude. It's about attitude. I can joke about that. That's it, you guys. I recommend the book You Can't Joke About That by Kat Timpf. Get it, read it, enjoy it. Let it be thought-provoking for you. And please, thumbs up, click the notification bell so you're notified when I do the random things on this channel. Thanks for tuning in.